All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say, Kol Holoyim Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakah Kwadash. All right. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, you Latinos, and you Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come week in and week out to prophesy the downfall and the destruction of America. All right, because in the Bible, America is known as Babylon the Great, or the great daughter of Babylon, or Mystery Babylon. And according to the Bible, Mystery Babylon, or the great daughter of Babylon, is going to be destroyed and wiped off the face of this earth by nuclear fire, by thermonuclear destruction in this third world war. This third world war that's getting ready to happen and pop off, man. All right, nuclear missiles are going to fly very soon and pelt this place you call America, man. Because that is the judgment that the Most High Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai has for America, man. America has to be eradicated off the face of this earth. It's written in prophecy, man. So whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, all right, America is going to be fully swept off the face of this earth, man. Because America is the most vile, the most profane, the most wicked, the most abominable empire to ever exist in history, man. All right, when you go into Revelation, the 17th chapter, I think it's Revelation 17 or 14, all right? It calls America the abomination, the abominations of the earth, the mother of abominations of the earth. Matter of fact, let's grab that real quick, all right? I just want to double check real quick if it's in the 17th chapter, all right? America is the abominations of the earth. America is one giant abomination, man. All right, when you read Revelation 17 and 5, man. All right, an abomination is a very vile, disgusting, all right, profane and detestable thing in the sight of the Most High, man. All right, so America has to be wiped off the face of this earth. Matter of fact, let's start off with Revelation 16 and I'll start at 8, all right? Revelation 16 and 8, all right? It says, Revelation 16 and 8, and the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire, all right? So that's what's getting ready to happen, all right? Men on this earth, especially here in America, all right, if you're not of the elect, all right, when those nuclear missiles hit, you're going to be scorched with fire, man. All right, that fire is talking about the nuclear destruction that's getting ready to hit this earth, man, in this third world war that's getting ready to happen, man. All right, you understand? All right, so let's read that again. Revelation 16 and 8, and the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. All right, so power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. That fire is talking about the nuclear destruction, all right, coming from the nuclear missiles that are going to hit this earth in this third world war, man. Men are going to be scorched with fire. You understand? With fire. That fire is talking about the nuclear destruction, man. That's not talking about no wildfire or some little ass house fire. No, men are going to be scorched with fire, man. All right, scorched with very great heat, and that heat is coming from the nuclear missiles, man. All right, going into Malachi, the 4th chapter, man. All right, matter of fact, let's get that. All right, Malachi 4. All right, Malachi 4. All right, let's get it. Give me a second. All right, Malachi 4:1, it says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. Yeah, there's a day that cometh that shall burn as an oven. That's the day when these nuclear missiles fly and hit this earth, man. That's the day men are going to be scorched, all right, with fire, like we just read, man. All right, in Revelation 16:8, man. Men are going to be scorched with fire. All right, you understand? And that's every single last one of you, all right, that's not of the elect, man. All right? If you're 2/3, you're going to burn here, man. You're going to drown in that lake of fire. You understand? All right? So it says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. Woo! And the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. All right, that fire is going to leave you neither root nor branch, man. All right, because what happens when you cut a branch off, man? It grows back. Well, when you're plucked up from the roots, it don't grow back, man. That's how you people are going to be here in America. All right, when that nuclear fire hits, all right, the Lord is going to pluck you up from your roots. You're going to be like as if you never were, man. You understand? That's why you Negroes, you Latinos, and you Native Americans, man, you got to come back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. All right, before that nuclear destruction comes, man. All right, because there's nothing left here anymore, man. All right, the only thing left to do is come back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. If you can't see that America is falling, all right, and that is getting ready to be destroyed, that's a great veil that the Most High has put over your eyes, man. Because you got people still trying to make something of themselves here in America, bro. They're trying to become rappers or comedians, you know, whatever it may be, the next big, you know, trying to have the next big podcast or TV show or be the next big streamer or YouTuber, all right? If that's what you got, if that's what you're trying to do, man, you got a very great veil over your eyes, man. You know, you can't see what's happening, what's going on. Because all that you're doing, all your hopes, all your dreams, all right, all that's going to be for nothing, man, because America's going to be destroyed, man, by thermonuclear destruction. You understand? So the best thing now, I'm talking about now, because that door is almost closed, man. All right, that door is almost closed to the point where you could barely slither in. You could still slither in, though, because the prophets are still out here talking, man. As long as you see the prophets out here on the highways and hedges, all right? As long as you see the videos going up on YouTube, that's the Most High's arm still being stretched out. All right, that's the Most High's mercy still being stretched out, man. But there's going to come a time, all right, that the internet is going to be shut down. All right, you're not going to hear the prophets on the internet. All right, the prophets are going to be pulled off from the highways, man. All right, you're not going to be able to receive this truth, whether it be off the internet or coming out to the highways and hedges, hearing it from the mouth of the prophets, man. All right, because when all hell breaks loose out here, man, here in America, you people are going to be looking for answers, man, and you're not going to be finding. You're going to be looking for the men you called crazy, man. The same men you call crazy and bugged out. The same men you see out here on the highways and hedges preaching this truth, man. All right, that you call bugged out and crazy. All right, you call those liars and devils. All right, you're going to be the same ones. All right, we're going to be the same ones that you're looking for, man. All right, because you're going to be looking for the truth, man. You're going to be looking for this word. When the famine breaks out, when this martial law pops off, this hyperinflation pops off, man. All right, you're going to be looking for this word, man, but you're not going to find it, man. Matter of fact, let's prove that. All right, let's prove that with Amos. All right, let's get the book of Amos, the 8th chapter. All right, let's get that real quick. All right. So this is Amos 8 and 11. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, the Most High, that I will send a famine in the land. Yeah, a famine is going to come. All right, but what is this famine? What is this a famine of? Let's keep reading, man. All right. It says, behold, the Lord, it says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, the Most High Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the word of the Lord Yahweh. Yeah, all right. It's called the famine of the word. You're not gonna, there's gonna come a time where you're not gonna hear this word no more, man. All right. When you people are looking for answers, all right, you're looking for truth, all right, because what's getting ready to pop off is very great hell, very great death, very great mourning, very great pain, very great suffering, very great anguish, very great sorrow is coming upon the face of America, man, on a very high and great scale, on a very high and great level, to the point you people are going to be, you're not going to be able to fathom it with your mind, and you people are going to be looking for answers because you're going to be bugged out, man. All right? You're going to be looking for the prophets out here on the highways and hedges, the same prophets you called crazy, man, and bugged out. The same prophets you call devils, man. All right? You're going to be looking for those prophets, looking for answers, man. But you're not going to find those answers. You're not going to find this truth, man, when you're looking for it, man. Because when we were out here, all right, giving you this truth, and you called us crazy and bugged out. See, that was your time to receive this word, man. All right? But you didn't come back to the Lord when he called, man. Therefore, you're going to know death by pain. All right? And you're going to be numbered to the slaughter, man. When this martial law pops off, when this famine pops off, all right? When people are being thrown in the concentration camps, when these martial law troops, these UN troops are busting into people's homes, slaughtering them. See, what's getting ready to happen is, see, we tell you these things, but it really goes in one ear out the other, man. We tell you these things and you don't really comprehend it, man. See, what we're telling you is something that this earth has never seen before, man. What's getting ready to happen is something that this earth has never seen before, man. All right, just like it tells you in Jeremiah the 30th chapter. Matter of fact, let's get that, man. Matter of fact, no. Let's get Daniel the 12th chapter. All right, let's get Daniel 12 and 1. All right, let's get that. All right, Daniel 12 and 1. All right, it says Daniel 12 and 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up. All right, what time? The time of Jacob's trouble. All right, when you read Jeremiah 30 and 7, it says there's getting ready. It tells you that a time that this earth has never seen before is getting ready to come upon this earth. A very great time of trouble, known as the time of Jacob's trouble. Who is Jacob? Jacob is the forefather of the nation of Israel. All right, out of the loins of Jacob comes the entire nation of Israel. You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans. A very great time, a very, very, very great time of trouble. All right, a very great time of trouble is getting ready to come upon you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, you Israelites. Because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, all right, he knows that now his time is very short, man. All right, so he's getting ready to come upon you Israelites, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans with very great wrath. It tells you that in Revelation, the 12th chapter, the 12th verse, man. All right, that the devil knows that he has nothing but a short time. All right, the devil being Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the elite banking families. That's who the devil is. And he's getting ready to come upon you Negroes, you Latinos with very great wrath. Because he knows that his rulership of this planet Earth is coming to an end. That Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is coming back to take this man down, man. All right, so Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, what he's trying to do is take as many as you Israelites down with him, man. So he's coming down with that very great wrath, that time of trouble, man. All right, which goes into the famine, which goes into the martial law, all right, which goes into the mark of the beast, all right, which is the RFID microchip. Because without that RFID microchip, without the mark of the beast, you're not going to be able to buy and sell. And a lot of you are not going to have faith in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right, only the elect is going to have faith in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to not take the mark of the beast, man. The rest of you two-thirds of you Israelites, all right, you Israelites, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans who weren't predestined to be saved, all right, out of this hell, all right, out of this very great time of trouble, all right, you're going to receive that mark of the beast, man, which is the RFID microchip, all right, because you're going to want to eat. You're going to want to eat, all right, so you're going to take it, and you're going to want your children to eat, so you're going to take it and tell them to take it as well, all right. So you people, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans with children, is going to be a lot harder for y'all, man. All right, but only the elect, all right, even the elect that has children, man, are going to make it out of this very great time of trouble. All right, but let's keep reading, man. All right, let's get into it. All right, Daniel 12 and 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, Michael the archangel, all right? It says, the great prince, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. Yeah, he stands for the children of thy people. What children, all right? The nation of Israel. That children, all right? You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, all right? And also the Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, all right, under the other nations, looking like the other nations, all right? Matter of fact, hold on a second. Let me take this drink. Let me get a sip of this water. I feel my mouth dry. All right, but let's continue. Let's read. All right, Daniel 12 and 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, the Israelites, man. All right, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. All right, so this is getting ready to be a very great time of trouble that this earth has never seen before, and it's known as the time of Jacob's trouble, the time of trouble for you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, man. But the elect of you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, the people on this side, all right, the 12 tribes of Israel, all right, you're going to be saved from that time of trouble, man. The ones that have returned back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. You understand? All right? The ones that call upon Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being the name of the Son. Those are the names you call upon if you want salvation, man. All right, the Lord, the name of the Heavenly Father is not Yahweh, it's not Yahuwah, it's not God, it's not Father God, it's not Allah. None of these bugged out names. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. 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 All right, Yahweh. And the name of the Son is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being the name of the Son. Those are the names you call upon. Those are the names you bow down and pray to and ask and beg for mercy, beg for salvation, beg for compassion. You beg the Lord for more faith, all right? Those are the names you beg for the Lord to deal with you more, all right? For him to sup with you more and be more intimate with you, man. All right? You call upon those names for everything, man. For more wisdom, for more knowledge, for more understanding, for a more bolder spirit. All of that, man. Those are the names you call upon for everything, man. To bless your food, to cleanse your food, man. All of that, man. You know? All right? It says, Daniel 12 and 1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, the Israelites, man, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans. You are the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of, all right? You are the true chosen people of this book, man. You understand? All right? It says, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. What book? The book of life. All right? So all the elect, the ones that are found written in the book of life, is going to be saved from that time of trouble. All right? The elect, also known as the tabernacle of David, the house of David, also known as the 1/3. All right? Because 1/3 of the nation of Israel, which is the elect, is going to be brought through that fire and saved, man. All right? Brought through hell and adversity, all right, to be cleansed and saved, man. So the Lord can receive them, all right, unto himself, man. All right? Now, where was I at, man? All right? I was in Revelation 16, so let's continue with that. All right? Revelation 16, all right? And 8, it says, Revelation 16 and 8, it says, and the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. Woo, all right? And that's talking about the nuclear missiles. The people of this earth are going to be scorched with fire, all right? That's going into 2/3 of you Israelites, 2/3 of you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, and also the other nations, Esau, Edom, and the sons of men, all right, are going to be scorched with fire, all right? If you're not of the elect, if you're not of the 1/3, if you don't return back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, all right, you are going to be scorched with fire. You are going to drown in thermonuclear destruction, all right, when these nuclear missiles hit this earth, man, all right? It says, and I read earlier, going into Malachi 4:1, all right, there shall be a day that shall burn as an oven. That's that same day when those nuclear missiles hit. All right, that day is gonna burn like an oven, man. All right, and not a modern day oven. I'm talking about those old school ovens. All right, that look like a cave. All right, and you put your food in there, and it's nothing but a fire. You know. All right, them ancient ovens, man. Them ovens from the ancient world, man. All right. It says, verse 8 again, it says, and the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire, and men were scorched with great heat. Woo! All right. Men were scorched with very great heat. Men were scorched with great heat, man. That's talking about the nuclear missile. See, you people don't understand what's getting ready to happen, man. All right? See, the nuclear missiles that are going to fall upon this earth in this third world war, all right, especially here in America, because it's prophecy for America to be completely wiped off. Completely wiped off the face of this earth, man. All right? Completely eradicated and wiped off the face of this earth. That's what's getting ready to happen. That's the prophecy that's getting ready to come to pass, man. We don't got 10 years here. We don't got, because a lot of you people think we got another 30, 100, 200, 400 years, bro. 1,000 years left. Nah, man. America's getting ready to be destroyed now, man. All right? In the very near future, man. This is why you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans have to come back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. Straight up. All right? All right? It says, I'll start from verse 8 again. It says, and the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with very great heat, man. Men were scorched with very great heat, talking about the nuclear destruction, all right? And blasphemed the Most High God Yahweh, which has power over these plagues. And they repented not to give him glory, man. Yeah, because they cursed the Most High. All right, why? Because they were being burned, man. All right, they were being burned. They seen that the nuclear missiles were getting ready to fall upon them, so they cursed Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. All right, especially the elites. You know, the elites. You know, starting with the elite banking families, man. All right, the Edomite, Illuminati, wicked elite banking families, man. All right, because that's all they know how to do is blaspheme and curse the Most High, man. All right, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, you understand? All right, and that's also going into Revelation 15. Revelation 9. Matter of fact, let's get that, because that goes into the nuclear destruction. All right, the John, he's seen the vision of the nuclear missiles being shot off, man. So let's get that. All right, let's get that. The nuclear destruction, the nuclear missiles, the nuclear fire, World War III is written all throughout the scriptures, bro. All throughout the scriptures, bro. All right, and this is prophecy that we must teach. All right, this is what we must prophesy, man, because that's what a prophet does. All right, he prophesies. All right, and that's what we do as prophets. We're prophesying. We're letting you know that America is getting ready to fall and be destroyed, man. All right, by thermonuclear destruction, man. All right, and you simple ass niggas can't see it. The non-elect, the 2/3 can't see it, man. All right, only the elect is going to hear these words and going to take heed, man. All right. So let's read that, man. All right. I'll start at verse Revelation 9, and I'll start at verse 15. All right, because when you read Revelation 9, all right, from the first verse all the way down to the 11th verse, all right, it's talking about World War I. All right, and then when you start from the 15th verse, all right, it's talking about the nuclear missiles that are going to be shot off in this Third World War. All right, so let's get into it. All right, Revelation 9 and 15, it says, and the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year to slay the third part of men. The third part of men is talking about Esau, Edom. Esau, Edom being the so-called white man. All right, because that's what the Lord is coming back to do. All right, to take this man down and to slaughter millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of Edomites, man. All right, when you read the beginning of Isaiah the 63rd chapter, that's what it's talking about. How the Lord is coming back, all right, to slaughter Esau, Edom. Slaughter millions and millions and millions of Edomites, you so-called white people, man. Starting with the elite banking families. To take you down from the rulership of this planet Earth, man. All right. It says, let me read that again. Verse 15, and the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. Again, the third part of men talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, because all of mankind, all right, is classified into 3 sections, into 3 groups. You got the sons of God, which are the Israelites, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans. You got the sons of men, who are the other nations outside of Israel, and you got the sons of the wicked, which are the Edomites. All right, the so-called white race, the so-called Caucasian race. You are the sons of the wicked, and that's what the third part of men is talking about. All right, the sons of the wicked. All right, you Edomites. All right, you Edomites are known as the border of wickedness in Malachi, the 1st chapter. All right, you're known as the wicked, man. All right, you're the wicked race, you Edomites. You so-called white people, starting with the elite banking families, all right? You Rothschilds, all right? You Rockefellers, all right? The Astor family, all right? The Collins family, okay? The DuPont family, all right? Y'all all, starting with y'all, man. Y'all getting ready to be taken down. You hear that, Esau? You hear that? All right? Y'all getting ready to be taken down, man, from the rulership of this planet Earth, man. All right? And you're going into chains. You're going to shackles, man, when the Lord comes back, man. Straight up. All right? Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Bible, man. All right. So let's get it. Let's keep reading, man. All right. Revelation 9 and 15. It says, and the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. Again, that's going into Esau, Edom. All right. To slay Esau, Edom. All right. The Lord is bringing all these nations together, which most of them are all European nations, all right, which are all Edomite nations, man. The Lord is bringing all these Edomite nations, all these nations together for this third world war, just so they could destroy themselves. See, the Lord got Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, in a trick bag, man. All right. He gave the knowledge to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, to build a nuclear missile just so he could destroy himself in his third world war, man. You see? All right. Verse 16. It says, and this is the vision that Apostle Paul had on the island of Patmos. All right. In chapter 9, he had a vision of World War I, and he had a vision of the nuclear missiles that are going to be shot in this third world war, man. All right. So it says, verse 16. It says, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, all right? So that army of horsemen is talking about the nuclear missiles. It says 200,000 that he saw, which goes into 200 million, all right? So he saw 200 million missiles being shot off, man, all right, in this third world war. All right, he's seen 200 million missiles being shot off in his third world war, man. All right, and that 200 million, that 200,000, which is 200 million, is talking about missiles, man. It's not talking about angels. All right, because you got people breaking it down the wrong way, man, which makes them false prophets, man. That's not talking about angels. That's talking about nuclear missiles, the missiles that are going to hit in this third world war, man. All right, so let's read that again, because after it mentions the 200,000, all right, it breaks down to 200,000. All right, so we gonna read it and get into it, man. All right, verse 16 again. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. All right, you say you heard the number of the army, all right, of the horsemen, which were 200,000, 200 million missiles, man. All right, and let's break it down. It's verse 17. It says, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, talking about the nuclear missiles. All right, and the nuclear missiles are also known as horses. All right, in Joel the 2nd chapter, man. All right. When he said it, they were like troops that leaped over a mountain or a wall. That was going into the nuclear missiles. That was all a metaphor. All right, that was all a dark saying for the nuclear missiles, man. But let's keep going. Let's keep reading. All right, let's break it down. All right, it says, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, which is the nuclear missiles. All right, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, talking about the nuclear missiles, because that's what's going to come out of that those nuclear missiles, man. All right, brimstone, man, fire and brimstone, man. All right, it says, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, talking about the front of the missile, man. All right, because that's where the actual warhead is at. All right, because you got the entire body of the missile. In the front is where the warhead is at, the part that actually explodes, and in the back you got what propels the missile through the air. All right. So it says, verse 17 again, it says, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Yeah, the mouth talking about the front of the missile. Out of their mouths, all right, issued fire, smoke, and brimstone, talking about the front of the missile, where the actual warhead is at. That's the mouth, all right, of the missile, man. out of their mouths, out of the mouths of the missiles, all right, issued fire, smoke, and brimstone, man. All right, talking about the warhead, man. All right, it says, by these three was the third part of men killed, which is Esau, Edom, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouth. All right, so these nuclear missiles, all right, the Lord set it up to where these nuclear missiles is going to slaughter millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of Edomites, man, which is you so-called white people, starting with the elite banking families, man, all right, which ruled this planet Earth, man, all right, as of right now, all right, but the Lord is going to, the Lord gave you the knowledge to build nuclear fire, to build nuclear missiles, just so you could destroy yourself, man. All right, that's the power of the Lord. The Lord got Esau, Edom in a trick bag. The Lord gave Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the knowledge to create nuclear missiles, just so Esau, Edom could set himself on fire, man. That's crazy, man, when you think about it, man. All right, just so the Lord could destroy you, man. All right, set them on fire with thermonuclear destruction. All right, let's read that again from verse 16. All right, it says, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. All right, so the number of the army, all right, which are the nuclear missiles, were 200,000, man. All right, 200 million missiles are going to be shot off in this third world war, man. All right, it says, and I heard the number of them, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, all right, talking about the missiles, all right, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. Out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone, talking about the warhead, all right. And these three was the third part of men killed, which is Esau, Edom, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issue out of their mouths. All right, let's keep reading verse 19. For their power is in their mouth, talking about the nuclear warhead, all right, the front of the warhead where the missile was at. For the power is in their mouth and in their tails, all right, because what's behind the body of the missile, all right, the propeller, which shoots the missile forward. So there's power in their tails, man, all right, shooting the missile forward, all right, which is the propeller, man, all right. It says, for their power which is in their mouth, all right, which is the warhead, and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. So the tails was like unto serpents, man, because when the that trail of smoke looks like a serpent, like a serpent in the sky, man. All right, and you know, and you got something that's called a mutant missile, which the mutant missile is a missile with the warhead that swivels. All right, so the missiles in the sky, they can swivel looking like a serpent, man. All right, the missiles, they could change directions, man. Look it up. It's called a mutant missile. All right, the mutant missile, the warhead pivots, man. All right, making the missile change directions, man, flying through the sky like a serpent, man. All right, so that's why it says, for their power is in their tail, and for the power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Yeah, those nuclear missiles are gonna hurt, man. All right, we're reading that the nuclear missiles, it says with them they do hurt. They're a lot of people getting ready to be hurt physically by those nuclear missiles are gonna hurt this earth, man. All right, those nuclear missiles are gonna hurt this earth. You understand? All right, this is what's getting ready to come upon this earth. Nuclear fire, man. Nuclear fire, bro. Nuclear fire, bro. All right. Hold on, let me fix this sign real quick. All right, so let's keep reading, man. All right, let's get it. All right, so it says, It says, verse 20, all right, Revelation 9 and 20, it says, and the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not. Yeah, the ones that weren't killed by the nuclear fire, the nuclear destruction. It's talking about the elite banking families, the ones that go down into the nuclear bunkers, man. All right, because the Lord got them going down into the nuclear bunkers. All right, the Lord allowed them to survive because they're going to be our first set of slaves. All right, when we come down from the chariots, all right, when the Israelites, the elect, come down from the chariots being what this world calls a so-called UFO. They're known as chariots in the Bible. That's how we're going to be saved from the nuclear destruction. All right, the elect is going to get beamed up into the chariots. And from the chariots, we're going to look down at the destruction of America, man. Watching it be destroyed. All right? And after the destruction is over, we're going to come down from those chariots, all right? And we're going to pull the elite out of their nuclear bunkers, and then we're going to grab them from out of their nuclear bunkers, and they're going into chains, and they're going into shackles. They're going to be our first set of slaves, all right? Our first set of subjects. That's why they're going to live down there, because somebody got to clean up this earth, you know, after the nuclear destruction. All right, and you Edomites and you other nations, all right, you're going to be our first set of subjects, our first set of slaves. You're going straight to work, just like you've enslaved us ever since you Edomites came into power, just like you enslaved us and impressed us, all right, and had us in slavery and impressed us for over 600 years, all right, ruling this earth for about 600 years, all right. We're going to do the same thing to you, but it is going to be double, man. All right, you put us in the hardcore slavery, you're going into hardcore slavery. Esau, all right, you so-called white people, man. All right, starting with the elites, man. They're going to be our first set of subjects, man. Our first set of slaves, man. Right into chains and shackles, getting shoved right into chicken coops, man. All right. It says right here, and the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils or idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. Yeah, and that's the pride of Esau, Edom, man. Because the Lord, it's not in their heart to do good. All right, it's not in the heart or in the mind of Esau, Edom to do good, man. When you read the book of Psalms, it says the Most High is not at all in their thoughts. Going into the wicked race that the Lord created, which is the Edomites, you so-called white people, Esau, Edom, man. The last thing y'all care about is the Most High, man. The last thing you think about is the Most High. You're completely opposite and contrary of the Most High, man. All right, you wicked ass Edomites, man. All right, Esau, Edom, man. All right. So let's get into it. Let's read that. Yeah. So matter of fact, let me get that in Jeremiah. All right, Jeremiah 16 and 16, man. All right. Matter of fact, let's also read it in Revelation first. Let's read Revelation Revelation 6 and 13. It says, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth. All right, those stars of heaven are talking about the nuclear missiles. All right, the stars of heaven fell onto the earth. Boom, 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 shaking this earth to the point where the whole entire earth is gonna rock. You gotta understand, the nuclear missiles that are gonna hit this earth that's the anger and that's the wrath of the Lord. The very fierce anger, the very fierce wrath of the Lord, man. All right, those nuclear missiles, that's the anger of the Lord that's gonna hit this earth, man, and cleanse it, this earth, man, by nuclear destruction. All right. It says, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. All right, so when the figs fall out of fig tree, like a wind shakes a fig tree, and those figs just fall out the tree hitting this earth. That's how the nuclear missiles are gonna fall out the sky, man, hitting this earth, man. All right. It says, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree cast her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. All right, talking about the mushroom cloud. All right, that's talking about the mushroom cloud. The heaven departed as a scroll when she is rolled together. Talking about the mushroom cloud, man, when these nuclear missiles hit this earth. So let's read that again. Verse 13, all right, Revelation 6 and 13. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, which are the missiles, even as a fig tree cast her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind, and the heaven departed as a scroll when she is rolled together. Talking about the mushroom cloud. And every mountain and every island were moved out of their places. All right, that's how hard these nuclear missiles are going to hit this earth. This whole earth is going to be rearranged. All right, just like when you look at a world map and you see all the countries and the continents in their place, all right, all the islands and all the continents, they're going to be all removed. There's going to be a new map, man. All right, just like when the earth was all at one, all right, the earth was all one, Pangea, meaning all together or all earth, all right, and then the earth broke up and it created the different continents and all that, man. All right, and that happened because of the great flood. The great flood broke up this earth. All right, all that weight of the flood coming upon the foundations of the earth, it cracked the earth and moved all the islands out of it. It moved all the land. All right, that happened because of the great flood, man. All right, and it's going to happen again. All the continents is going to be, the whole earth is going to shift. There's going to be new islands, new lands, and all that. All right, and the earth, the Lord is going to set up to where the earth is going to look good too, man. All right. It says, and every mountain and every island were moved out of their places. All right, and that's going to happen because of the nuclear missiles, man, hitting this earth. That's how crazy the nuclear missiles are going to be. That the islands and the earth are going to move out of their places, man. The scriptures say that the earth shall rock to and fro like a drunkard. Just like how a drunk man staggers when he walks, that's how the earth is going to move. It's going to stagger. The whole scriptures say the earth is going to move out of her place, man. All right, when these nuclear missiles come down, you don't want to be on this earth when those nuclear missiles hit. You want to be on those chariots, man. Straight up, you want to be on those chariots. You know? It says, and the kings of the earth, this is the point, and the kings of the earth, which is starting with the elite banking family. You know, the kings of this earth, starting with the elite banking families, then the lower lesser elites, like the kings and the prime ministers of this earth, the fake royal families, and, you know, the people that sit in high places, and, you know, or the billionaires, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and, you know, the Soros, all right? All the kings of this earth, they're going to be in the nuclear bunkers, man. All right? It says, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Talking about what's known as dump, deep underground military bunkers. Those nuclear bunkers. They hid themselves in the mountains. It says they hid themselves in the dens in the rocks of the mountains. Talking about the nuclear bunkers. Because they got nuclear bunkers that go 13 stories underground, and they got bunkers hidden inside the mountains, man. Hidden inside the mountains. They have nuclear bunkers, man. All right? All right, and you also read about that in Isaiah 2. Let me grab that in Isaiah 2. All right, let's grab that real quick. All right. Isaiah 2 and 19. It says, look, Isaiah 2 and 19, it says, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth. Talking about the nuclear bunkers, man. For the fear of the Lord Yahweh. Yeah, for the fear of the Lord Yahweh. Because they know how the Lord is coming. That's why they got these nuclear bunkers. Because they know it's the elite banking families themselves that are creating this nuclear war that's getting ready to pop off. This third nuclear war, this third world war that's getting ready to pop off, which is a nuclear war. All wars, every single war on earth has been systematically created and manufactured by the elite banking families, by the Rothschilds. All right. Matter of fact, another country can't attack another country unless the Rothschilds tell them to do so. So when you see a country at war with another country, that's the go light from the elite bank. That's the order from the elite banking family. All right. If you know anything, all right, there's something that's known as the Albert Pike and Mazzini plan, which the Albert Pike and Mazzini plan was a plan to start 3 world wars, and the third world war was to bring conflict between the Muslim world and the Judaism world, and that's exactly what you're seeing happening right now, man. That's how this third world war is going to start, between the Muslim world and the Judaism world, as you see Iran and Israel at war right now, man. All right, that's how all these nations are going to come into this third world war, man. All right, be brought into this third world war. All right, and when you read a book called The World Order by Eustace Mullins, it reveals that, all right, how all right, that they create all the world wars because there's money in war. All right, all wars are bankers' wars. All right, all wars are bankers' wars because there's money in war. All right, and it's part of their new world order agenda because it kills millions and millions of people. War, man. All right, and that's what the elites want to do. They want to depopulate this earth, man. All right, when you look at the Georgia Guidestones, all right, what's one of the orders on the Georgia Guidestones? To bring down the population to 500 million. There's over 8 billion people on this earth right now. So in order to bring the population down to 500 million, you got to kill 7.5, a little bit over more than 7.6, 7.7 billion people on this earth, huh? You know? All right. So it says, Isaiah 2 and 19, it says, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth for the fear of the Lord Yahweh, because they know how to. Because ultimately, it's the Heavenly Father that's controlling everything, but He's using the elites to do it, to bring this upon this earth. All right, because it's being done by the elites, systematically created by the elites, but the Lord controls the people on this earth, man. All right, Proverbs 21 and 1. All right, the Lord's heart is in the mind of the king. All right, or the Lord's heart is in the hand of the Lord, man. All right, roughly paraphrasing that scripture. All right. So it says, verse 19, Isaiah 2 and 19, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth for the fear of the Lord Yahweh and for the glory of His majesty when He arises to shake terribly the earth. And that's what the Lord is getting ready to do. To shake terribly this earth. The nuclear missiles that are going to hit this earth is going to make this earth shake terribly, man. All right? It's going to make this earth shake terribly. You understand? All right? It says, in that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself, to worship to the moles and to the bats. Yeah, because they're all false idols, man, and false gods. All right, they're gods of silver, they're gods of gold. All right, they're going to cast them to the moles and the bats and the beasts of this earth, because their false gods are not going to be able to save them, man, from the true God, man, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. which is getting ready to cause all these things upon this earth. And nothing is going to stop Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man, from doing these things. Not Allah, all right? Not Yahweh, all right? Not Yahuwah. None of these false gods and false names. All these idols and false gods you pray and worship, all right? The name of Jesus is not going to save you, all right? The name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is going to save you, man. You understand? All right? From the nuclear destruction, all right? It says, in that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself, to worship to the moles and bats. Yeah, because your false gods and your false idols are going to be worthless in that day, man. Nothing is going to be able to save you in that day, man. You understand? All right? So it says to go into the clefts of the rocks, into the tops of the ragged rocks, for the fear of the Lord Yahweh. Yeah, because that's where they got their bunkers, man. All right, that's where they got their nuclear bunkers, all right? In the clefts of the rocks, man. In the clefts of the mountains, man. All right, in the holes of the mountains, man. All right, to go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks, for the fear of the Lord Yahweh, and for the glory of his majesty, when he arises to shake terribly the earth. Seize ye from man whose breath is in his nostrils, or wherein is he to be accounted of, man? All right, so they're going to go into their bunkers, all right? They're going to be hiding in their bunkers because they know what's getting ready to pop off, man. All right, because they're the ones that's creating this nuclear destruction that's about to hit, man. So they got the nuclear bunkers ready, all right? But the reason why they're going to be in their nuclear bunkers, all right, and be left alive, all right, because they're going to be our first set of slaves. All right, so let's now grab that. I had wanted to bring that out, all right, before I bring this out, all right? Because the true prophets of the Lord, all right, the prophets of the Lord, all right, they're also known as watchmen and seers or visionaries, right? Because we got vision, man. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, I am one of the Lord's true chosen prophets. I say we as in, humbly, man. Hopefully that I am, of the elect. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, all right, because we as being the prophets, all right, we're watchers, all right, that's another name for a prophet, a watchman, all right, we're watching and seeing what's going on so that we can, call out to the people, man, and warn the people, all right, we're seers, we're visionaries, we can see what's going on, we know the future because of the prophecies that are written. And so therefore we're telling the people we're prophesying, all right? But the prophets, all right, they're also known as fishers. They're known as fishers, man, all right? Because who are we fishing? We're fishing the elect, all right? The casting line, the fishing rod is this Bible, man, all right? The prophets are also known as fishers because we're reeling in the elect. We're calling upon the elect to come back into this fold, all right, to be part of the elect, man. All right, the house of David, the tabernacle of David. So the Lord said the fishers are going to turn into hunters, man. All right, because right now we're fishing, but now we're going to hunt. All right, when the Lord gives us that word, man. All right, so let's get that, all right? And we're going to hunt them out of their nuclear bunkers, man. All right, these elites, all right? So let's get that, all right? Jeremiah 16 and Jeremiah 16 and 16, it says, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And that's what we're doing right now. All right, the prophets are fishing. All right, who are they fishing for? All right, they're fishing for the 1/3. All right, they're fishing for the elect, the ones that were chosen to come back into this fold, the ones that were chosen, all right, to return back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right, that's who we are fishing, man. All right. So let's keep reading. It says, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters. All right, we're gonna become hunters. All right, And it says, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rock. So we're gonna hunt the elites, all right, the kings of this earth, the rich men, all right, the elites of this earth. We're gonna hunt them from out of the holes of the rocks. Did we not just read that the elites are gonna be in their bunkers, that they're hitting in their holes, all right, the rocks of the mountains, all right, the rocks of the clefts of the rocks. All right, they're going to be in their nuclear bunkers, man, and we're going to hunt them out of their nuclear bunkers. And what are we going to do to them? We're going to put chains and shackles on them, man. All right, the kings of this earth, man. All right, Psalms 149. We're going to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, man. All right, let's all get that as well. All right, so Jeremiah 16:16, all right, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from out of every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rock. So we're gonna pull them out of their nuclear bunkers, and they're going into chains and they're going into shackles, bro. They're gonna be our slaves, man. All right, you understand? All right. All right. Let's also get that in the book of Amos, the 9th chapter. All right. All right. Let's get it. Amos 9:2. It says, though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. All right, though they dig into hell, meaning in the ground. All right, they dig into hell, meaning in the ground, in their nuclear bunkers. All right, he said, the Lord said, though they dig into hell, my hand shall grab them. All right, and the Lord is going to use us as his hand. All right, we're going, like I said, we're going to hunt them out of their nuclear bunkers, man, and they're going into chains and they're going into shackles. All right, it says, though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. Because that's what they have done, man. All right, they have climbed up into heaven, man. You know, the ISS, the International Space Station. All right, because when Esau Edom goes down, the so-called white man, right, everything that he has is going down with him. Everything is going to fall, completely fall. Everything that he has, all his satellites, the ISS space station, you know, everything that he has, bro, his power grid, all of that, bro, you know, his power structure, you know, all that's being taken is going to be brought down with him, man. All right, there's going to be no place found in for him in heaven no more. All right, like it says in Revelation 20. All right, I think it's Revelation 20. All right, there was no more place in heaven found for him, man. All right, because the first heaven were passed away. The first heaven and the first earth were passed away, which the first heaven is talking about Esau Edom's rulership, because he's getting ready to come a new heaven, all right, which is the heaven and the kingdom of Yahweh Shai, which is the kingdom of Israel, man. All right, the kingdom of you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, the people on this side right here. All right. So now let's get I had another scripture in mind. Oh yeah, Psalms. All right, to show you that they're going into chains, man. Psalms 149. All right, and Psalms 149:5. It says, "Let the saints be joyful in glory." The saints are talking about the Israelites, man. All right, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans. The Lord said, "Let the saints be joyful in glory." This is talking about the kingdom of heaven. All right. It says, "Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds." Yeah, because we're going to be at complete rest, man. All right, we're going to be at complete joy and rest,
because nothing is going to make us afraid ever again. We're never going to fear ever again. We're never going to be in hell ever. We're not going to have to wait. We're not going to have to wake up, all right, worrying about going to work and how we're going to live, and maybe if you know, we're not going to think about if maybe we could pay our rent or not, or if we're going to be able to eat or not. All right, we're going to be at complete rest. And our people never knew what rest was, man. We don't know what rest is and never knew what rest was, man. All right, but we're going to come into that rest, man. All right, we got to labor to see rest. All right, we got to labor to see rest. All right, because we're getting ready to come upon that rest, which is the kingdom of heaven. We're never going to have to work ever again. We're going to be immortal. All right, have completely new bodies that would never weary or get tired ever again, man. In any type of way. No more back pain, no more arm pain, no more knee pain, no more neck pain, no more teeth infections, or stuff like that. We're never gonna cry in the kingdom of heaven. We're gonna be at complete rest and joy, man. All right, to the point that it's gonna be so far beyond our minds ever even fathom, bro, ever even hoped for, bro. All right, so it says, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of Yahweh be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. Yeah, so we're really going to have a two-edged sword in our hand in the kingdom of heaven. We're going to have a sword on our waist, man. Because we're going to be rulers and kings and gods, man. All right? But why are we going to have swords, man? It says right here, it says to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. So we're going to put punishments and we're going to execute vengeance upon the people, all right? And execute judgments upon the heathen, man. All right? The heathen being the other nations, man. All right? It says to bind their kings with chains. We're going to bind their kings with chains, man. All right, let's read that again. Let's start from verse 5 again. It says, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High God, Yahweh, be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. That's what we're going to do upon the people in the kingdom of heaven, because they're going to be our subjects, our slaves. Just like they execute vengeance upon us, they had us in slavery and did us dirty and oppressed us in all types of ways, slaughtered us and murdered us and massacred us in all types of ways. We're going to do the same thing to them in the kingdom of heaven. All right? We're going to rule over them in the kingdom of heaven. All right? It says to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. Yeah, so all their kings, all the kings of this earth, starting with Esau, Edom, the elite banking families, all right, they're going into shackles, they're going into chains. That's why the Lord got them going into the nuclear bunkers so they could live, all right? But we're going to grab them out of their nuclear bunkers, and they're going into chains and shackles, all right? Like it says right here, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. That's what we're going to do, all right? To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right, praise ye the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right. All right, this is the honor that we hope to get, man. All right, I hope I have this honor. All right, I hope I am of the elect, that I get to put the that I get to receive subjects and slaves, man. Because real kings and rulers have subjects and slaves, servants, man. All right. Let's also get that in Psalms, the 2nd chapter. All right, Psalms 2. All right, Psalms 2 and 8. It says, "Ask of me, and I shall give the heathen for thy inheritance." Yeah, all right, we're going to be giving the heathen, all right, to rule over, man. All right, we're going to be giving the heathen to rule over. All right, it says, Ask of me, and I shall give thee heathen for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Yeah, because we're going to rule this earth. Yahweh Shai, first and foremost, this is Yahweh Shai's earth. Yahweh Shai is getting ready to come back and take what is his, so that he could set his throne on it. All right, because that's what the Lord is coming back to do, to set up his throne. All right, which is the rulership of this planet Earth. And the Lord is going to share his throne with the elect, the 144,000. And we're going to rule with Yahweh Shai. So the Lord is going to give us rulership over this earth, man. All right, the uttermost parts of this earth is going to be given to us for a possession. It's going to be ours, man. With Yahweh Shai, man. With Yahweh Shai, man. You know, first and foremost, it is Yahweh Shai. It's Yahweh Shai's earth. All right, he created it for himself, so that he could rule on it. All right, isn't that something? All right, and the Lord is going to share his rulership with us, man. That's why it says right here in Psalms the 2nd chapter. All right, Psalms the 2nd chapter, the 8th verse. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Yeah, we're going to break the other nations with a rod of iron, man. Because we're going to rule over them with very great rigor, man. We're going to break these other nations with the rod of iron. Just like they broke us, man. All right, and slaughtered us and murdered us, massacred us throughout the course of history. You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, we're going to do that to them in the kingdom of heaven. But it's going to be twice fold. All right, the Lord said we're going to rule over them. All right, it says, thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them into pieces like a potter's vessel. All right, so just like you take a vessel, all right, a potter's vessel, it dashes into pieces when you drop it on the floor. That's how we going to dash them into pieces, because we're going to rule over them with the rod of iron. You understand? We're going to rule over them with a rod of iron, with very great power. That represents the very great power and strength. All right? How we're going to rule over these other nations, man. All right? We're going to rule over them with very great power, man. All right? With very great strength, man. All right? All right? Let's also prove that, what's that, Revelation? All right? Revelation 2. All right, let's grab that. Revelation 2 and 5. All right, so no, Revelation 2 and 25. It says, and these are the words of Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai said this himself. All right, Revelation 2 and 25. It says, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. Yeah, hold fast, meaning hold tight onto this truth. Don't let it go, man. Endure unto the end, man. Those who endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And the exact end ain't come yet. We're in the last seconds. Yeah, we're in the last seconds, the last nanoseconds. But you got to endure to the very, very end. That's when Yahweh Shai comes back. All right? When the Lord pulls off the prophets from off these streets, man. From when Yahweh Shai returns. For when you got to be a martyr. That's all the way to the end, man. All right, those who endure to the end, the same shall be saved, man. All right. It says, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And that's Yahweh Shai saying that, man. All right. And the Lord said, hear ye him. All right, for this is my beloved son in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. So we are to listen to Yahweh Shai, man. That's the wisest thing you can do, is listen to Yahweh Shai, man. You know, that's the wisest thing you can do, is listen to the words and hearken and understand the words of Yahweh Shai, man. All right, hold fast until I come. All right. All right. Revelation 2 and 5. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Yeah, because the elect, all right, which is all of the nation of Israel, All right, they're going to be given power over the nations in the kingdom of heaven, because that's what the elect is going to do. The kingdom of Israel is going to do. All right, Israel is going to rule over these other nations in the kingdom of heaven. All right, the true Israel, the true Israelites, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, man. And also you Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth under the nations, looking like the other nations, man. All right, you're of the elect too. All right. It says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations. All right. So you true Israelites, you Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, all right, you're going to have power over the other nations. You're going to rule over Esau, Edom in the kingdom of heaven. The so-called white man, this damn devil, man. All right. So it says, and he shall rule over them with a rod of iron. Yeah, we're going to rule over these other nations with a rod of iron. Just like how they rule over us now. All right, we're going to rule over them in the kingdom of heaven, man. They're going to be our servants. They're going to be our slaves. They're going to be our subjects, man. You understand? All right, that's what Luke the 16th chapter was about. All right, it's going to be a complete role reversal. All right, the first shall be last and the last shall be first, man. All right. So it says, and he shall rule over them with a rod of iron. All right, which represents the great power. All right, how we're going to rule over them, man. We're not going to rule over them softly, man. All right, we're going to rule over them in a austere manner. All right. It says, and he shall rule over them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, man. You see that? All right, these other nations are going to be ruled over with a rod of iron, and they're going to be broken into shivers, man. All right, because they broke us into shivers. Now it's their turn to be broken into shivers, man. You understand? And that's coming when Yahushua comes back, when Hamashiach comes back, man. All right? It says, even as I received of my Father. Yeah, so that's the power, all right, that the Lord is going to give the elect, all right, to rule over these other nations with a rod of iron, man. All right, matter of fact, let's also get that in, let me get something real quick. Oh, matter of fact, let's get Revelations. All right, let's get Revelations. All right, the good old 13 verse 10. All right, this is Revelation chapter 13 verse 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Yeah, if any man have an ear, let him hear. Meaning, if you could understand this and receive it, then understand it and receive it, man. All right, this is for you, man. All right. So it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Yeah, those who led us into captivity shall go into captivity, man. Who led the nation of Israel into captivity? Who led the Negro, Latino, Native American man into captivity, man? All throughout the course of history, man. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and all these other nations. So now it's their turn to go into captivity. All right, first and foremost, Esau, Edom, man. He has to go into captivity because Esau is the #1 enemy to the nation of Israel, man. All right, which is Esau, Edom is the so-called white man, the damn devil, man. All right. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, man. All right. So all these other nations, all right, Esau, Edom, and these other nations, they slaughtered us and killed us with the sword. So now they have to be killed with the sword. All right. It says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints, man. All right. This is what the saints are patiently waiting for, man. To put Esau, Edom into captivity, these other nations into captivity, man. Because the Lord said whoever put his people into captivity got to go into captivity, which is what we're reading right now. And then when we read Psalms 149, it says we're going to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, man. You understand? All right? So, That's it, man. I'll leave it at that, man. All right. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All right. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah. This lesson was edifying, man. All right. I want to say, Kol Haloyim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Kwitash. All right. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, so with that being said, until the next one, shalom, shalom.